Have you always wanted to be an author, or is it something that you stumbled upon, or you just, figured out later?
Yeah, everything in my career has been kind of accidental. I stumbled into this. I studied history in college. I was going to be a homemaker. Writing started as therapy. It was just a way to deal with some really tough times I was having. And then once I got into the habit of writing about my stuff, other people showed up my head and they were way more interesting. So I wrote their stories instead. To say that you have to know exactly what you want to do with your life at 17 or 18, I think is a lot of pressure. There's all these little things I thought I was going to do along the way, and then stumbled into this career that I love. So your 20s is not too late, your 30s is not too late. People think if you don't know right out of high school what you want to do, then you're missing the boat completely, and that's just not true. It's just not true. There's so much time, and you can start all over again in the middle of your life and still have a lot of success.
Whenever you do write the books, do you usually start with a character or a picture or the end or something that happens in the middle?
Yeah, everything kind of revolves around the characters for me. So I have to spend a lot of time with them and kind of getting to know them. The first time I wrote the selection, I thought I knew everything about America. And by the time I got to the end and actually got to know her, I was like, oh, I put a bunch of words in your mouth. I made a bunch of choices for you, and I had to go back and write it all over again. So for me, it's all about knowing characters, and you do that the way you do with people you meet in real life. You spend time with them, and then you know them, and you can tell their stories accurately. So that's the goal. I just want to be honest to everything that the people in my head are telling me, which I realize sounds crazy, but that's all I really want to do.
Is there anything that you'd pull from real life that you bring into it?
There's two male leads in my books. There's Maxon and Aspen, and people ask if I have a favorite. I'm like, well, they're both kind of bits of my husband, so no, I can't. But it's funny. He's my real life example of love, so he shows up in my boys. But no, they're just sometimes stuff kind of falls in whether you mean for it to or not. But usually they're their own people, and I just want to represent them on paper as best as I can.
If somebody hasn't read any of your books before, what would you say is a theme or something that would draw them to your books?
I mean, if you like a good love story, that's what I write. The selection series is all about love. They pitched it early on as the Hunger Games meets The Bachelor, the lottery in the future, but instead of fighting to the death, they're fighting to become the next princess, which is a pretty good description, although the Hunger Games, let's be honest, is way more intense, it's definitely, if you're looking for an easier read, I think my books are a lot quicker and easier to take in.
Switching gears a little bit, I know you love putting the bows in your hair. What inspired that look?
Okay, sweat. Let's be real. I would do book signings, and I'm so excited, and I want to be there, and everything's so high energy, and I was just sweaty. I was I'm just gonna start putting my hair up, and I'll put a bow in it so it looks like I'm trying. And then people got really excited about it, and so the other day, I had just gotten here off the plane, my hair was down, I was signing books in the bookstore before everything happened, and they were looking at people didn't recognize me, and so I wanted people to be able to find me today. So it's well, I guess I have to put my hair up, so they know who I am. But it was again, oops, accidental. But it has kind of become a little trademark. So I don't know. I will see how far it goes. I think might be time to switch it up.
If there is one message that you hope fans take away from you or your books, what would it be?
I mean, I'm not as sure about books, but for me, I'm a follower of Christ. My faith is a big deal to me, and I just hope I'm doing a good job of representing that. I just would like to be a person that people felt like they could ask questions to or talk about it safely, and that's kind of a goal for me personally.
What would you say is the key to having your own fairy tale?
Choosing it. People ask, is your husband the one? I'm well, I choose to make him the one. I make the choice every day. I think sometimes people give up, oh, they just weren't the one. But every day, we put in the work, and some days you love so much, it's totally easy, and some days you have to work to get to the love. And I think you have to just kind of choose, okay, I'm going to choose what I want to do with my life. I'm going to make it with the best with what I have. I'm going to make my best choices possible. So I think sometimes just being intentional about what you want to get out of life, I think that can kind of change your mentality and help you get more.